Hey everyone, Trail Ducker here, doing another Design League playthrough. We're doing Design League 4.5, which only had 2 entries, and so this one we're doing Crossers7. 4.5 was the nerd challenge where people were asked to do renditions of template holes. So let's dive in to this one. Let me start some music. So yeah, with the template holes, let's do a little fly. Um, people, we asked for unique renditions. The two that came out, I think, definitely were a little low on time. So they were pretty straightforward. I do wish a little more creativity was used with templates. Also, the planting. I mean, you could see here and the other entries kind of similar. There definitely is really quick kind of. Here's some holes. Here's some planting. Probably autogen endpoints, and then some grass sprinkled in. So I wish a little more ability, whether it's time that you had or time that you wanted to put into, was available to do a little more with the environment. Yeah, so design-wise, 11, which is one of my favorite template styles. You got the diagonal hazard to hit over. Originally, I was thinking, I wish this hazard was pushed back like 5 or so yards, but with the elevation, I think it does work. Got that hill that if you take this easy cross, that you're behind the hill. I would like this angle to be accessible a little more than it is. Like the fairway to be extended. But I also don't want you to kind of want you what you did where you gotta lay it off. Like driver isn't an option on this side, which it isn't really, but so I think the fairway could have went in, and then you could have also kind of zigzag the water to kind of cut in a little more too. The water's a little, here's where water's going, like pretty straight, so there could be a little more interest. Obviously, with more planting, there would be way more interest along the water edge. And then with the green, get what you're doing. Let's see how it plays. I think it's a little too short for it to matter as much. Like, honestly, the green could, to make it matter, to want to hit from over here, I feel like this green could be more sloped towards this way. Because I get what you're kind of trying to do. And then also with 11s, I like to have like one pin that at least that does kind of want you to hit over here, and then the rest, it's actually best to lay off and hit over here if you can't reach like optimal little zone right there. Yeah, see, that was a pitch, and I could have changed it. I didn't realize it was a pitch until I was swinging. I could have changed it to a full wedge, and it would have even stopped more abruptly. So definitely you could make that green. Oh, sorry, this song's real loud. Just change the next one. You could have made that green do a bit more for it. So you got a cape for the second hole. You got the classic diagonal drive, and then yeah, the hole kind of sticks out like it's supposed to, because that's really the most important thing, is the green caped out like this. But again, like this little peninsula created, I mean, I could literally see your brushes, and it's just kind of basically like the way it goes down to the water and the heavy rough, how it is, like it's just very plastic looking. the plasticity just makes it very apparent that it's a video game. So I would like a little more work throughout with the sculpting and the planting to make this seem like something you would see in real life, rather than this kind of molded, very inorganic and artificial looking kind of pixel. And I took the water on, but honestly, I don't know if it matters as much. I mean, there's a little bit of that hill that you'd be behind, but I'd want this green to matter more if you take out the water. Have more of a penalty for taking the easy way out. He says as he missed the green altogether. That's just my kind of rush playing and bad playing. Maiden for the third hole. I'll admit, Maiden's a template that I don't really use much. My whole thing with Maiden is the general way that it was used. It's very much about the approach, because you have those two raised areas. And here, the approach doesn't matter. And that's the thing, is like there's two pins where the approach matters, and there's two pins where the approach, like where you are in the fairway, doesn't matter. So with this, and then even with this, it's even less. Like, I feel like you should have had something in the center to make you pick the side, and then have, and that would kind of do a little bit more. Oh, another thing you could have done is tried to put it on its side, so that these two raised areas are on one side, and then you got the lower dip on the other side of the green. That could be a way to do it. As like a twist on it. Right now, it's just, it doesn't really matter where I hit this tee shot in terms of my approach on the green. There's no real strategy. It's more just, can you hit two shots where you want to hit, or are you going to have bad tempo? So like, there could have been more done to make this matter more, and make the template mean more to your strategy. Oh, that was hole 5 is the lion's mouth. Wait, no, sorry, I'm on 4. Biarritz. I remember this Biarritz. I had a closer pin, which I really liked. Maybe it was over here or something, because it did force me to use the Biarritz. And then, yeah, you should have 2 pins here. This pin's just too far back. I would have made this green way more shallow, and bring both pins here, where you gotta roll it through to use those pins. And these 2 pins, you gotta to hit it with this long club short of the swell. I do think you could have made the swell a little bit more, or like fit in the land, rather than just like, I'm putting a brush here to make a swell. I've actually used Biarritz's kind of naturally in courses. Like, I have one on my major course, and it's just like a dip with kind of 2 plateaus, raised areas of the green, and that dip is like centered, and you kind of use that. You gotta try to avoid that dip, or you can, like, I more use it as a fly hazard to avoid in like a tier, but this is the more traditional way where you gotta roll through it. The thing is, with this back one, I feel like I can just avoid it. This bunker I don't feel is doing a ton for you, although I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to make it look like it's like right up against, but I feel like it needed to be higher to really do what you're trying to do. Alright, let's see if my tempo can prove my point. I think I can just miss. I think I can just miss the swell altogether. Stay on. Yeah, see? So that green could have been way more shallow. and that pin could have been pushed more to the swell. Alright, sorry, now this is the lion's mouth. And yeah, the lion's mouth I like. That's on a par 5. That's an interesting way to use it. That or a long par 4, I think are like the best ways. Or even actually short par 4. Work well. Now instead of having a center hazard and having you pick, you have these side hazards that you want to hug to get one side. And I like that they're kind of different because they're diagonal. I like that this one is more hug on this side and fly it, and this one's more don't roll into it. That's kind of nice. So this bunker isn't really doing much for you. I think it's supposed to challenge layup, but like if you don't want to try to squeeze this, but it doesn't really challenge the layup. Nobody's laying way back here. I feel like bunker should have been like more here. So it really is like you gotta lay back way over here, or you gotta challenge it to get it. Just, you know, there's no real. Well, I say that from the rough. If I was in the fairway, that wouldn't be in play at all. Just totally. The C hazard, hit and hazard thing, especially if you're keeping it. Okay. And the last one is a knoll. And I'm gonna be honest, you've done this now at least 3 times, if not all 5 times, on these on your entries. So it is a little redundant. This knoll drivable par 4 from you, and get it. I get the risk reward, but it's a little. I think you focus too much on the knoll part of it and the risk part of it, because there's no real, like, this is the, I don't know, I guess this is the sensible way to play it. I don't know, there's not really a option besides trying to go for it. It's a bit all or nothing, and I just think there's better ways to use knolls too. I've used them on both the reachable par 5. Kind of does the same, but then you want to do it in a way that there is an enticing layup, but you can reach it. So it's like, oh, but I can reach the green, so it kind of does that. And I've also used it on a 3-shot par 5, where just blasting 3-wood on your second shot actually leaves you in some like swell right below a raised knoll green. So the actual sensible way of playing is laying back way up here. I did that on hole 8 on my Utah National Treasure course. I think it came out pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, I just wish you could have done a little more with this knoll. And I'll just say it like your first one, you won that competition because you really had the time to put into the environment. And then there's been a lot of, and I know you've ran out of time on some of them, you said. They definitely were kind of thrown together. So I hope you have a little more time on the finale to really put more into the environment, because I know you can do more, and then you can try to hold on to your first place over the whole season. But yeah, thanks for entering again, and see you next time. Oh, got a Boogie Boys hat too. All right. Bye.